Hi, and very good evening to you. It's June from Maverickstar Observatory. What we're looking at is around 1700 miles of migration, and I'm going to zoom in a little later on at the latest position of where we measured it from only a few days ago. And the reason why we're looking at this is because we are around 17 months now from crossing that 40-degree mark, and as you can see, it is over the North Atlantic Ridge. And what we've noticed over the last 5 months is an increase by around about 20% as it's passed over that ridge, or begin to pass over it. We're not sure whether that is the cause for the acceleration, or it's the fact that it is getting closer to that theoretical 40-degree mark. And I've said this a few times now, what the 40-degree mark is a theoretical mark based on some observations with experiments that we conducted a good few years ago now here. And what it basically means is that after moving around 40 degrees up any pole, whether you could do this at home with your compass and just get your compass set up on the table and get a magnet and just twist it round slowly, what you'd find is when it gets to a total of 40-degree movement, it starts to quiver and then move rapidly through the weak field lines. So we're actually in the strong field lines now. The fact that we're getting closer to that 40-degree mark could be an indication that we are about to leave in the next 17 months the strong field lines and go into the weak field lines. And if it's like the experiments that we conducted here at the observatory, we should see a rapid movement where the pole begins to migrate. And how fast it will do that is anyone's best guess. We know that it don't hang about after 40 degrees. It goes into the weak field lines, starts to migrate, but what we should see then is possibly more than one pole pop up on our planet at various places. We know that where the highest intensities are is likely for where the pole is going to migrate to. And if that is the case, then we're going to probably be looking, if we follow the corridor down of the course of the magnetic North Pole, that is probably going to be somewhere central to Russia and just below the Antarctic peninsula or the Arctic Circle. So the clock is ticking and we are rapidly now approaching the 40-degree mark. What we can expect to happen during that period of time is what we've seen over the last 30 years of the secondary acceleration, where the pole migrated from 1990 to the current day. It migrated nearly 1,200 miles. So in the last 5 months we've seen it increase by 20% on top of that acceleration that it started to have from the 1990s. And what we could see is more of what we've seen in the last 30 years with the effects and changes and modifications to the planet's climate. And we know what the increases are of that. We're looking at early forest seasons, because of in some parts of the world we get droughts, and in other parts we get these flash floods, breaking 100-year records in hours. So that's where we are right now. And we're also at the same time at the observatory facing a bit of a dilemma. We've got to make some decisions in January. It looks like we are going to have to make them, and it's saddening really, because a lot of work's been put into this to this date to keep people informed of what's happening with the magnetic North Pole, and we know that the mainstream media won't touch the subject for whatever reason that is. I'm not going to speculate, but it can't be just ourselves and a few of the scientists that have made the connection to the magnetic North Pole migrating and the times at where it's accelerated with the increase in severity in climate. It can't just be us here that know that. It must be these other organisations. Perhaps that's why the European Space Agency doesn't come forth with level 2 and above data on the Swarm mission, which was a mission specifically designed and purpose built for the monitoring of the magnetism of the Earth. We know that there could have been a few reasons for not releasing too much information, because we know that the military had a big funding in that, and that modern aircraft use magnetic data for the ability for fighter jets to fly a lot lower than normal. So whatever systems that they're using is obviously relying on the magnetite in the earth as it flies over there at crazy speeds. So that could be one of the reasons why they don't release that sort of information. We have had people from Swarm say that they don't even get to analyse the data themselves. It's sent off to another place and it's analysed there. So that's very strange that even the people that look after the satellites aren't able to monitor and do the research with the data that these satellites collect. It's very strange, but I don't work in these satellite task rooms, so I don't know how things work in there, but that's just what I've been told from somebody apparently that works there. So they're saying don't beat us up too much about it, because we don't even get to analyse the data. But that just leave then questioning, doesn't it? If they won't let the people that are managing the mission go through the data, and it gets sent off elsewhere for it to get managed and then maybe gets backfed through the system to those people that are managing it, then there is obviously room and cause for suspicion for manipulation of the data. In a nutshell, guys, we have got less than 3 months now till the end of January, and we're trying to encourage those people that are less reluctant to come forward and put a bit of support here for the observatory. Otherwise we've got to change the way we deliver our services at the end of January, and we want to keep it free for everybody, and the only way that can possibly be the case is if we get more people funding. It has been a terrible 19 months going through the pandemic, and I know that a lot of people have struggled with money, and we've done the exact same thing. We've managed to keep it going. I'm prepared to invest a small amount of money, of my own money, as well as the time that I put in, to keep things going if we possibly can. But we have got a deadline at the end of January, and it couldn't come at a worse time for us, because here we are at the where are we, nearly at the end of October, going into November next month, and we are still £10,500 in the red at the observatory. The way I'm seeing things go at the moment, it's looking less likely we can keep the service that we've got and maintained over the years prior to this. There's got to be some big decisions made at some point if we can't get the funding to keep the observatory going in the current manner that it is at the moment. So there is another £3,000 I can put into it, and the time. We've got the equipment. It'll be a real shame if we have to start closing the service off to certain people. It's just we don't want to do that, and we've never ever, or always tried, should I say, to avoid that situation, but there's nothing we can do. So I know it's a bit of a sad note to end the video on, but it is the way it is. Unless we get more people who are prepared to step forward, realise the benefits of what we deliver, and the truth is really what this is all about. It's delivering the truth to people and keeping them informed, because you've only got to switch on mainstream media and you will see the lies that the mainstream media push. You will see them attacking people like ourselves, calling us conspiracy theorists, crackpots, tin hats, and every other name that you can imagine. So we're copying a lot of flack here for just trying to do science in an honest way. So at the end of the day, there is a link down there if you want to help support us, and we have a deadline. We need more people at the end of the day coming forward and supporting what we do. Guys, the only other thing to say at this point of the video is you have a great evening with your loved ones, and I'll say what I usually do. Bye for now.